This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that far. We keeping a foot on the what? The next. We keeping a foot on the what? The next. And like the Tibetan Mastiff that I am, I'm applying what? On immediate pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts pipes. Let's talk about it, man. Zion Williamson, though. This dude right here is what we would say a basketball player that's a phenomenon. And erection king strikes. And erection king strikes. Enos Sport told you guys, man. He said that Zion Williamson would be the next basketball player when it comes to basketball. That Zion Williamson would be the next guy. If you notice, now they're basically acting as if LeBron James doesn't fucking exist no more, though. When it comes to Zion Williamson. NBA fans are like, man, Zion Williamson, though. I'm telling you. This cat Zion, he's a phenomenon, he knows the sport. This guy Zion can do some things on the basketball court that's unprecedented. Now, he knows the sport is going to show you that he knows the sport scientific form, dog. Because remember, what he knows the sport does, he has no competitors, dog. So let's get on to the scientific breakdown of Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson, by structure, you got to look at the way that the NBA is worked. The NBA has point guards. Point guards average anywhere between 185 to about 220. You got shooting guards that go from, about 200 to damn near 230s. James Harden's a heavy motherfucker, so we probably say maybe 240. You got small forwards that go anywhere between 210-ish to about 250s. LeBron James is what, 250? You got power forwards that go anywhere between 220s. We seen some 210-ish versions. I mean, really lean motherfuckers, right? But usually it's about 220s to about 260s. And then you got the center position. The center position usually is about 240s. You've seen some that are like scaly about 230s, but usually about 240s. So anywhere about, it can go up to about 300, but it's rare. Shaquille O'Neal's the aberration. 300 pounds and things of that nature, right? But it's usually, if you rounded it off, about 230s to about high 270s, right? Then we got Zion Williamson. Zion Williamson weighs 284 fucking pounds. And he's 6'6". Usually when you're that height and that weight, you're fat as fuck. Especially if you're a basketball player. This guy is basically a physical, what we would say, Greek goddess type of body, man. I mean, the way this guy is, though. 6'6", 284 pounds. I mean, it's ridiculous what this guy can do at 6'6" and 284. Zion Williamson is carrying a lot of weight. When you do 284 pounds, if you round it off to your nearest, rounding to the highest number is going to be close to 300, right? As you guys know math, 50 and above, you're 5 and up, you round it to the highest number. So 284, we damn near can say he's close to 300 pounds. 16 pounds away. Zion Williamson weighs 284 pounds, and this man is 6'6". Now, let me give you some scientific facts from Peter Whalen. Now, we have to quote experts when we talk about stuff. See, this is what He Knows the Sport has to teach you guys. Peter Whalen is a psychologist, or what we would say a physiologist, and what we would say a biomechanist. This guy studies the art of movement, how a player moves, the physiology of their movement, the biomechanics of their movement, basically how they get up. This man said Michael Jeffrey Jordan, the greatest basketball player of all time, jumps at a force of 1,648 newtons. Then you have, what's his name? Porzingis. Porzingis with the Dallas Mavericks, he jumps at a joules of 1,739 newtons. And then you got LeBron James. Now, LeBron James was the guy that everyone said was the biggest, strongest, fastest guy. And he was. His newtons is 2,111. I want you guys to go do your research. Don't take my word for it. You're going to see where everything that Hinosis Sports said is quantified, calculated, and verified. Let me say it again. It's quantified, calculated, and verified. Matter of fact, the link is in the description that shows you that Hinosis Sport can be backed up in what he's saying. LeBron James jumps at 2,111 newtons. Zion Williamson blows LeBron James by 402.27 newtons pound of pressure. Woo-hoo-hoo. Let me say that again, because what I said was so deep and profound. Let me let that marinate in the corpus callosum and in the cerebellum. So hear me fucking wet. Zion Williamson jumps at a newton of 2,513.27. When you subtract 2,513.27 minus 2,111, that gives you a total of 402.27 newtons more of pressure that Zion Williamson jumps over LeBron James. The heaviest LeBron has ever been is, we would say, 6'8". LeBron James about 275 when he played for the Miami Heat. 6'8", 275, right? The heaviest that Zion Williamson has been is 284. Zion's actually been bigger than that. Zion has shown weight to be in the 290s, give or take. He had to cut fucking weight. But LeBron James was 6'8", 275 when he played for the Miami Heat, though. That's why he was as big as fucking Alonzo Mourning. When Alonzo Mourning was saying, man, LeBron James is just as big as me. You know, this guy's about 6'8", 275 fucking pounds, right? But this is what Zion Williamson brings to the table. A guy that's as heavy as he is. If you guys know anything about the law of gravity, what goes up must come down. Let me say it again. The law of gravity teaches us that what goes up must come down. And in the law of gravity, we're talking about freaking Zion Williamson bringing a lot of weight down, a lot of pressure down on his fucking joints. How's he able to do this? We saw R.J. Barrett, a teammate of his, say, man, this guy right here, I don't understand him, though. I don't understand how he could be so big, but how he could be so able to move and be fluid and fly the way that he flies. Zion Williamson is a unique basketball player. Remember, Hinosis Sport infamously said they call him Zion because he can literally feed a whole village. That's his game on the basketball court. His game on the basketball court is one of feeding a whole village, because Zion Williamson does everything on the basketball court. This guy defends at the highest levels. See, this is what you want when you say greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. Now, there's a reason why I'm using that terminology with Zion, because Zion's gifts is also his detriment, right? But the greatness personification of Zion can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. But there's a solution that Hinosis Sports going to talk about on the back end of it. Zion Williamson is an anomaly, man. That's why they call him Zion Williamson, because he can feed literally. That's what Zion means. Feed literally a whole village. Zion is a biblical term. It is the city of God. So what a name for a mom to give her son. It's like basically she was prophetic in explaining what he was going to be. Zion Williamson is the next player in basketball. They should have been focused on Zion. And when I sat there and looked at the stamp date, and when they started talking about this was March 9, 2020. They should have been talking about this shit since this kid got into the fucking league, man. Because with Zion Williamson, you're getting a unique dichotomy that you haven't seen. Charles Barkley, even in his rookie season when Charles Barkley got up, Charles Barkley wasn't getting up like no damn Zion Williamson. Dominique Wilkins, not getting up like no damn Zion Williamson. Vince Carter, a jumping juggernaut, is not showcasing the newtons that a Zion Williamson is showcasing. Zion is a freak of nature, man. He's a different dichotomy. Kobe Bryant, in his jumping feet, nowhere near, man. This is what I'm trying to tell you guys. When you think of Zion Williamson, you think of basically a basketball player that's very unique at what he does. This guy can dribble like nobody's business. This guy can score from anywhere like nobody's business. This guy can put the ball on the floor like anybody's business. That's why people are hung up with Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic, who? A pedestrian on the defensive end? Zion does everything. Why you think Henos' sport only rocks with winners, dog? Because when you rock it with the best, you don't settle for the rest, dog. Let me say it again. When you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. Now, here's the issues that Zion has that you have to think about. Zion Williamson has a dichotomy where Zion lands inappropriately. He puts a lot of pressure on his joints. He moves very awkward. His footwork is not the best. But see, this is the beauty of science, and this is the beauty of people that work in the industries of teaching players how to develop their movement and how to develop the ability to shift their feet and things of that nature. They did this with Stephen Curry. Stephen Curry had ankle problems, and they fixed Stephen Curry's movement. They fixed his ability to switch gears. They fixed Stephen Curry's ability to not further damage his ankles. Now, did he have other injuries? Yes. But were they damaging to his career? No. Because he had to change his whole motor skills. He had to change the whole ability for him to basically shift, go left, right, east, south, northwest. Well, this is what the New Orleans Pelicans are doing with Zion Williamson to ensure that Zion Williamson stays their prized possession. They're ensuring that Zion Williamson doesn't put himself in any precarious situations in terms of his physical movement, in terms of him landing awkwardly, in terms of him having a fatal injury, kind of like Derrick Rose. They don't want that to happen. They can't afford that to happen, especially when they lost Anthony Davis, right? I said all of this to say this. Zion Williamson is a unique basketball player. And there was a time where people used to say LeBron James was the biggest, strongest, fastest. That shit is ancient fucking history, man. The biggest, strongest, and fastest locomotive basketball player we've seen to date. Because Peter Whalen, the physiologist and biomechanist that he is, stated that as big and strong as fast as LeBron James is, he doesn't jump, or he doesn't have the athleticism, or he doesn't have the pressure or force that Zion Williamson has. So right there, that has been debunked by a subject matter expert who understands physics even at the lamest levels. But this guy obviously understands it at the highest degree, the highest order, and the highest magnitude, because this is what he studies and this is what he does on a day-to-day basis. So we have to digress to his subject matter expertness. He's an expert, and he's telling you he has not seen anything like Zion Williamson. This is why Henos' sport is seer mode. This is why Henos' sport is the Anomaly King strikes. Anomaly King strikes. This is why everything Henos' sport is law, or Henos' sport law. This is why everything that Henos' sport tells you is ahead of the curve, ahead of the needle, and ahead of the damn situation. Because everything Henos' sport tells you comes to pass. The good book tells you this is how you will know prophecy came from the man above, because it will come to pass. Everything Henos' sport tells you is seer mode. It's prophetic, because Henos' sport is telling you something that's going to come to pass. And Zion Williamson, being the dominant basketball player that he is stuff that Henos' sport told you was going to come to pass, barring injuries. Making sure he works on his weight management. Who told you this, man? And a prediction King strikes again. And a prediction King strikes again. Who told you that if Zion Williamson dedicates himself to his craft, does what he's supposed to, can't nobody see this dude on the basketball court? So I say all of this to say this. Once Kevin Durant's reign is over, and I will know, because I know when guys are done. Just like I knew when Kobe was done, just like I knew when Jordan was done before that. When Kevin Durant is done, and I will know this, I will start declaring Zion is the next guy. Because I already told you guys that Zion was my next guy after Kevin Durant, dog. Because when you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest, dog. Let me say it again. When you're rocking with the best, you don't settle for the rest. And what did my boy Ben Castro say? Exit LeBron, enter Zion. Bars. Let me say it again. No. Let Ben Castro say that again. Exit LeBron, enter Zion. Bars. Zion is here, man. The word Zion means you can literally feed a whole village. Zion is here to stay. Can't nobody see Zion Williamson on the basketball court because Zion Williamson is a complete package. It's like the government says a stimulus package. He's a stimulus package on the basketball court. A walking nightmare, man. And if anybody's a real NBA fan and they're using what's called the true basketball eye test, you better be like, LeBron, bye. You should have been said that when Kevin Durant came back. You should have been said that when Kevin Durant dominated the way he did. But with Zion lurking, it's a things that make you say, It's a things that make you say, So we leave with this, man. Zion is the future. Zion is the player that fans need to rest themselves upon. Barring injuries, dedicating himself to his craft, and doing what he needs to keep himself in peak condition, this guy is going to dominate basketball for the next 10 to 15 years like nobody's business. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true telefashion. I keeps the foot on the what? The X. In this instance, Zion Williamson's ability, his special, unique ability, is going to keep the Tiger's foot on all of these Rudy Poo and Plum Plum rights, all of these classic Dolce Troglodytes, and all of these ultra fanboys with the ultra fanboy rhetoric's necks, i.e. NBA players. This is Enos the Sport. Check it out.